All right, my friends. Somebody just sent me a link. In that link, former President Jimmy Carter recovering whatever after surgery or something another whatever hospital visit due to a fall and a broken hip. So, if you recall, Mark Taylor, former firefighter, he lives in Florida, says, hey, I had some visions from God. This is what he told me is going to happen. Trump's going to win the election. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Trump's going to get multiple Supreme Court picks, this and that. Like, he's been calling some stuff and in advance. And one of the things he said, and this is going back, I think, over a year ago now. I think it was in January or February, early 2018. I believe this is when this particular prophecy from him came. And he said he was shown or told or whatever that 2 former presidents will die, will be dead. That would be a sign in which 3 former presidents currently alive would be indicted, charged, imprisoned, something, or I don't know which word he used at the moment. But if you search for that, Mark Taylor prophecy presidents, or 3 presidents, or something along those lines. 2 presidents die, 3 presidents indicted, something like that. Search for that, whether on YouTube, Google. You will ultimately find a video. And you know, whether someone's talking about it or it's him saying it, whatever it is, you'll get the information you need if you want to see what I'm talking about. So when this guy, Gary, who emails me fairly frequently, Bix will know where I'm talking about. I think he includes Bix on quite a few things too. But anyways, Gary, well, we both trying to change lanes, son. And my Jeep might crawl over that car. I'm just saying. So, this is very interesting because you know what happens when elderly, not older, elderly people are getting close to, you know, kicking the bucket. They slip and fall and they'll break typically a hip or some other bone. Okay, typically a hip. That's very common. So that happened. My wife's grandma, who lived, I think, to be in her, I don't know if she made it to 90 or 88 or 89. She might have made it to 90 or 90 something. Her Uncle Pete definitely did. But she had a slip and fall, you know, same thing. She fell out of her bed at one point, and they found her there in the morning. She was fine. I mean, she was hurt, but she was fine. She slipped by her bed, whatever, fell, broke. I think she injured something or broke something. Next thing you know, she's in hospice, and then she's dead. Like, boom, 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 back to back. Like, whoa, what happened? So, all I'm saying is that's an example of many times it's quite common to see that happen to elderly folks. When they're quite old, elderly, brittle, when they start falling and breaking stuff, typically they don't have much time to live. It's just the way it is. That's statistics. Doesn't mean everybody. You might find someone who fell, broke a hip, broke a second time, broke a hip. They're still going 8 months later, a year later. I know there's the occasional thing. But most of the time, that's a sign that the clock, you know, knock, knock, knocking on death's door. Oh, hey, 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 yeah. Mama, indict these 3 presidents. We have no use for them anymore. Ooh. It's getting dark, too dark to see. It's time to get some light up in here. Get rid of that darkness. I would love nothing more than to see the former, currently alive, not including Carter, presidents charged, indicted, something. Obama's top legal guy, I think he's nailed now, wasn't he? They went after him, FBI or what have you. It's progress. We heard again, QAnon. Hey, watch May. was the merry, merry month of May. And Dan Bongino today, I didn't get a chance to watch his video, but I will probably this evening. Don't miss my video, breaking news, you know. He says, you know, we were just saying that they spied illegally, the FISA warrant was illegally obtained. We knew that it was, but we didn't have anything to present at you at the time. We now know that's the case. So it's like, you know, 1 hour show. Don't miss my show. I got a lot to tell you about. Ron Paul's been coming out talking about some stuff. These Democrats. What's his name? Schiff for brains. Democrat moron. Congressman. Oh, yeah, we shouldn't look at Hunter Biden, you know, a presidential candidate's son. We shouldn't look at their background and things that they've done in the past. Oh, no, not at all. Joe Biden had the Ukraine president or prime minister basically say, look, you're going to fire this attorney general of there who's looking into this case of this company that my son is on the board of directors. And if you don't fire him, we're going to make it to where that $1 billion loan you guys needed that was backed by the U.S. won't be backed by us. And then dumbass Biden actually came out during an interview, I think at the Council of Foreign Relations, quick look surprise, to brag about it. Oh, and within 6 weeks he was gone. Insert foot into mouth Joe Biden. So it's gonna, I'm telling you, it's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get quite interesting. And I mean, I say it's gonna, it already is. Y'all, you know, if you're not really paying close attention, you may say, well, I don't know, I'm not really following what's happening. You know, just show me the arrest. All I'm gonna say is when you hear about the first major arrest, charges, grand jury was already done, you know. At that point, again, I've asked this question before, and I said, all right, those of you Q guys who said, Joe, it's a LARP, it's fake, it's this, I said, remember that video I did a while back? I said, look, I said, just bear with me. If, let's suppose, some arrests start happening, you see people that you recognize, whether it's Comey or Brennan, whoever, start getting arrested, at that point, will you say, you know what? Man, maybe there is something to this Q thing. Maybe that was a good guy after all. He wasn't just some LARP and faking it and all that stuff. And many of you said, yeah, you know what? In that case, I would agree, you know, because we've seen too much of this crap over the years where no one's in trouble. The government's just this big revolving door from going to private companies back to the government, doing favors for the private companies, going back there, then coming back to the government. Someone gets in trouble, you think, then they don't, there are no charges, we looked into it, we didn't find nothing, or we're not even going to file charges. You know, James Comey, intent. Hillary Clinton email. The intent, you know, intent's real. It's a big burden for the government to prove intent, you know. Well, that's funny. You don't have a problem arresting people, kicking doors down, SWAT team raids on no evidence, somehow able to secure a warrant. You don't have no problem saying you've got intent to go that far, and then maybe later on the case gets thrown out of court or the other party wins. You still kicked the door down, you still arrested people, you still humiliated them. I want to see helicopters, people dropping out of helicopters, 30, 40, 50 FBI agents kicking down James Comey's door, John Brennan, Clapper, perhaps the Clintons. I want to see publicized video of that kind of an event happening. And then if they're upset about it, they can cry to the government who just did that to them and say, well, why'd you have to go to that level? Why'd you have to go to that extent? You could have knocked on the door. We would have opened the door, you know, like the poor citizen who's done nothing wrong and gets that kind of treatment and says, you guys are over here banging my door down, just knock, I would open the door. Like, it's no problem, come on. That is a pretty bad accident. The whole roof of the car, the jaws of life, it looked like, had to open that sucker, and I don't have time to switch my camera to show you. It's already over now, but I thought the slow traffic was from the rain. We had a pretty powerful rainstorm come through here. So, yeah, I'm telling you, stuff's getting done. I am paying attention. That's why I find these little nuggets and things. I'm like, hey guys, here's a little flick towards you, your way. Hey, check this out. I think we're making some progress. I know there's not arrest yet, but just check this out. And now all of a sudden, the Bakers, the Comeys, the Clappers, these guys are getting nervous. Oh boy, they're getting nervous. Again, they never thought she would have lost the election. No one would look into it because she won. And the illegal activity, she helped pay for it through the DNC. Remember, this was an opposition report. The dossier was an opposition project paid for by her through the DNC. Of course you wouldn't have an investigation into that. No, we don't need to look into that. But Donald Trump won. And while he's dealing with that stuff, letting them bury themselves, letting them do the things they're doing, and now again, like I've said, they can spy, Trump and them can now spy on these guys because of the treason they've committed. Umbrella spying, as Q has said a few times. And he says, oh, by the way, Q, that whole FISA thing, it works two ways. You know, it works both ways. You guys use it illegally, we're now going to use it legally. Works both ways. And I think these people, you know, the Comeys, these Democrats, just don't think that they're being spied on or they're being careful enough, that, you know, the deep state still got things under control, don't worry about it. And that is not even kind of the case. Remember that speech Trump gave when he was in the White House? There's a whole bunch of men and women standing behind him. Maybe 100 people in there, I don't know, 80 to 100, not real sure. Maybe not that much, but he says, oh, you know, maybe this is the calm before the storm. The press went crazy. What are you talking about, Mr. President? The calm was like Syria attack, or what are you talking about, Mr. President? I guess you'll find out. You'll find out. All right, take care, guys. Oh, you'll find out, press. You dishonest mainstream media news, which you shouldn't even use the word mainstream, like media. It's not media, yeah, because media could be entertainment, could be fake, it could be whatever. But actual news, this isn't news. These companies aren't news companies. They stopped being news companies a long time ago and became a freaking criminal pivotal arm of the left. That's what they've become. So I look big time forward to seeing them get in trouble along with their Democratic friends. Again, I'm telling you, come 2020 election, the Democrats are going to be hard-pressed to even have a candidate that can run, okay? That will even be allowed legally, not being in jail, not being indicted, to run against the president. Put up old Smoking Joe, Smoking Joe Biden, yeah. And now his whole scandal's coming out. Again, he's the one that made the call. He's on video saying, I made the call to Ukraine. I interfered in another country's affairs so that this company my son works for is getting $50,000 per month payment. Yeah, I said per month payment. To have that prosecutor back off and fired. So, Prime Minister, old Porky, remember Porkashoff, the guy eating his tie? That was him. Remember that guy eating his tie? I keep thinking to myself, he was so upset and bothered at eating his tie. Remember that? The video showed him eating his tie? On the phone with somebody? Remember that? I'm telling you, my feelings lately are, I wonder if he was having that conversation with Biden and them. And he's like, I can't fire a prime minister. The people are going to kill me. He's investigating a legitimate crime. What do you want me to do? What can I do? Well, you know, if you want that $1 billion loan to get backed by the United States, well, then you're going to have to fire this guy. You know, my son worked on the board, but I didn't know he worked on the board, everybody. That's what Joe Biden says now. I didn't know my son worked on the board, was a member of the board of the company for 2 years prior to that. I didn't know. I don't have any conversations with my son. I don't know anything he's doing. I don't know anything in his personal life. I don't know anywhere he's working. I have no idea. That's the best guy. That's the best guy the Democrats have to go against Trump. He's going to wipe the floor with Biden and anybody they put in front of him. I mean, seriously, legitimately, he's going to wipe the floor with these people. Finally, it's going to be exciting to watch politics instead of screaming and getting all pissed off, high blood pressure, heart beating, watching the TV, watching these liars pissing you off. Oh, we got to raise Obamacare. Yeah, if you don't have health insurance, we got to tax you and all this tax money. And then you find out they're funneling your tax money to a third party such as Planned Parenthood, giving them billions per year, who then funnel it back to the Democratic Party when it's time to get elected. So they have this free money at their disposal because the average person, again, more mass majority will not vote Democrat. That's what you're going to find out. You're going to find out in elections going forward, after the voter fraud, the illegal voting, all that stuff is finally out in the open and dealt with, you're going to actually see just how people actually, vote. And you're going to probably see a landslide of epic proportions so bad you'll think that something's wrong. Well, I'm used to seeing 51-49, 52-48 maybe. The occasional 53-47. But 69-30, what? How did that happen? Yeah, we think there's voter. Well, guys, the new system's in place. Everybody I talk to seems to vote this way. The numbers don't lie. Unless you're talking to a liberal or watching liberal news, they'll tell you that their guys got the 10-point lead. Every Democrat against Trump right now has a 10-point, at least a 10-point lead. 6-point over there, 7th there, except for Pocahontas. She's the only one that does it, but the rest of them do. Yeah, I'm sure. Beto, yeah, he's got a lead. Joe Biden, yeah, creepy Uncle Joe Biden, yeah, he's got a lead. Yeah, I'm sure. But you can't really complain because that's all they've got. It's their blueprint. The news, that's all they can do. Roll with the stuff we always do. Show the fake news, fake information, fake polls, fake everything to let you know we're going to win. And just like the last two, the midterms and the presidential elections, the freaking polls were massively off. And then they'll recount. We're going to do a recount in Florida, 2 different areas. Palm Beach County and Broward County. We're going to do a recount, damn it. Because we know we got more of a Democratic vote. Oh, what's that? Oh, shit. The Republicans got more votes? On the recount? Oh, shit. So what did they do? After costing us more taxpayer money, what did they do? Guys, Palm Beach and Broward County together, guys, turn your recounted votes in 2 minutes late so that they're disqualified. We're going to go with the original totals because they weren't as bad for the Democrats. Okay, and that's what they did. The Democratic Party is the modern day socialist Nazi communists. They just have a blue flag and wave it. Hey, now we're good guys. And that is not the case. Again, the party of deception. But anyways, I think I've yapped enough. Kind of sort of looking forward to, presidential doomsday. According to Mark Taylor, again, when 2 presidents living, there's 5, when 2 of them die, the other 3 after that will be indicted. Now, that does not mean, just let's make this very clear, that if by chance President Jimmy Carter dies in 5 days from now, a few days a week, he's dead. That does not mean the 3 remaining presidents, Obama, Clinton, and George Bush Jr., as I like to say, Dodo Bird Bush, those 3 guys don't necessarily get indicted right away. Oh, a week later, what happened, Joe Amy? I thought you guys said, Mark Taylor. No. Just after that happens. It could be a year. What if it's 2 years? What if it's 6 months? I don't know. I'm just telling you what this guy's prophecy said. And he's made some claims. Some of them have already appear to have happened, like some of the Supreme Court stuff he talked about. So, how long are they going to be able to fake Ruth Bader Ginsburg? We'll see about that. But anyways, I'm done talking. Take care.